Morning, everyone, and welcome back to Chaos Creations. Well, I've got a lot to get through, some of it good and some of it bad, and I shall go from there, and you can be the judge. So I have put some triangle sort of orky bits on here, and I've also added some glue and good old-fashioned beach sand, and I put that around the joins here, and it looks like rust. So when I paint it up, I'll just paint it like black, and then I'll get like a sort of like a dull orange, dry brush it on there, and it'll look like rust. So it works really well, and it's good to conceal up bits and pieces that I may have missed. That said, it's looking pretty good, very bit more orcish. I've got new magnets that I got from a shop, nice big thick industrial ones now. That sucker ain't going nowhere. It's great, spins around. I've shaken it around quite heavily. It's not coming off whatsoever. And also with the Mecha Claw, I've added a couple of bits on the end there, and I'll fill the gaps in once the glue's completely dried. I was going to put it down the sides, but I just think at the end it just works well. And once again, it got a bit of an upgrade with magnets as well. And yeah, it's now solid. It's not going to go anywhere, and you can shake it around like crazy. It's not going to go anywhere. So I've also bought some other magnets for the inside because, like I said, it sort of hangs out on an angle. So I've got some magnets that I'm going to glue into here. And I don't know if it's going to get in camera, but I'll give it a go. It's a bit heavy. So this is the upper torso. Now it's got some holes in there. So if I filled it up with magnets, it's going to take like 20 of them. It's just incredibly huge. So I'm going to pack these up with green stuff about, I'd say 90% of the way. Let that all nice and harden, and then put some magnets on that. And on the other side, there isn't a hole, but what I'll do is I'll just get a very flat magnet and pop it in there. So it's actually magnetized from both sides, because it's got holes on both sides, so why not? That way, when it fits in, it can just stick into place. And instead of like, as it normally does, as it sort of flops down on an angle like that, and I get worried when it sort of goes down like that. It should be nice and sturdy and straight, not down. So I'm hoping that will help out a lot, and it'll just stay there nice and sturdy. That is going to be the last thing that I do for a while on the Gargant, unfortunately. So a couple of videos ago, you would have seen me doing some Hive Fleet, Secundus, necromunda, sort of like dungeon tiles and so forth. And they have little slidey bits that sort of go into them. So that's the basic frame there. And, I've got like 240 of these tiles. They're all versionally different and such, and some of them are quite nicely detailed and so forth. And you just slide them into whatever position you want, and away you go. Now, I was on the assumption that Hive Fleet Secundus was not coming out until the end of August, which was great because I could do a lot of work on the Orc and then come back and do this before Hive Fleet Secundus comes out. And the main reason is I have a lot of friends, well, not a lot of friends, a small group of friends that really want to play this game. Unfortunately, they're working some insane hours. I mean, I got one of them that's working, driving around Australia with his work and so forth, so he's on the road a lot, and he won't be back locally until next week. Another friend is Fifer, that's fly in, fly out up in the mines, same deal. So I put it upon myself to make the terrain. Now, they're all ramping up, and we talk regularly. Oh, my goodness, it's coming out. I'm like, what? He says, yeah, it's coming up for pre-order tomorrow. I'm like, oh, okay. So I've got about a week to paint all of this terrain. Now, there is like 40, 50 different versions. There's some bends, some T-junctions, and so forth to paint up. That's not the problem, believe it or not. It's these tiles that go on. I've got 420, 500 of these things. And yeah, so the other problem I have is it's winter here, and there is an incredible storm front in my city at the moment. So it's raining a lot. So I can't even just take these outside and give them a quick spray paint with black and let them dry because, it's like absolutely pouring down, and I only have a very small place where I can possibly spray paint. So yeah, that's not a question. So I'm going to have to hand paint every single one of these, and hand paint every single one of these. Now, I've told my friends the fact of, look, it's going to take a while. All I'll do for the moment is paint it all black, and then just give the old necromunda brown and necromunda silver, and then have to come back and then touch up and add little details of gold and like little bits on the inside and such, just to give it more flavor. I'm only one person, I can only do so much. So the green stuff will be put into the torso today, and then I will let everything stay up there. I'll have to work on the Hyflix Secundus and get that up and running. I'm quite surprised. The box set for Australia is $290. That's pretty cheap for a Games Workshop product. $290, that's not bad at all. So I'll get that, and I'll get the models together, glue them all up, and then I'll get back to the Orc. That said, I am working on a couple of other Orc projects. I've got this. I printed this guy out. Now, the joking bit was I was going to use this as an alternative head for my Gargant, but let's face it, A, it's too small, and B, it's too silly. The other idea was to make it into like a little bobblehead just for my desk. But realistically speaking, I'm just going to paint it up like green and then really weather it, and then make it look like an old statuette or something, and have some candles down the bottom and some grots playing with it, praying to it and such. Oh, I've got that darkness thing happening again, haven't I? Oh dear. I believe it is a setting on the camera. I have not figured out what setting it is on the camera just yet. Hopefully soon I can just get a dedicated camera just for doing videos and not be using an app on my phone, which is what I'm using still. But we'll go from there. So this will be like a statuette near the Gargant, it's like an icon to whatever, Mork, Gork, or a particular war boss. Now this was originally a Orc head that would go on a miniature, and I just blew it up to 1500%, I think it was, and there we go. And it's turned out, I don't know if you can hear that over the video, but it's coming down outside. It's hailing again by the sounds of it. So it was just a head, and I've just blown it up and then popped it off. The bottom of it, I sliced a little bit just so it will just sit better on the table because it was rather bulbous underneath. And away we go. So that'll be it for the Orc Gargant for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, unfortunately. I'll do little videos of bits that I'm working on in the meantime, more than likely the magnets and such, and the gears at the back. I've got some more ideas, and I'm printing stuff out at the moment for that. But apart from that, not much else is going on. I'm talking to somebody that's, excuse me, got some of the old metal orcs, or freebooter orcs, and hopefully I can get a nice trade for those, because that would look awesome on the Orc Gargant. To have, this with maybe like a freebooter pirate standing on this, a peg leg with a cigar in his mouth and the captain's hat, it would be absolutely amazing. But, trading is, some people just want to haggle silly and crazily, and I think they enjoy just the haggling more than the swapping, to be honest with you. Anyway, everyone have a great day. If you're in Perth, Western Australia, please stay warm and dry because it is nuts out here at the moment. Any questions, just ask. Other than that, please like, subscribe. The competition for the head will be my next video, I think. So stay tuned. And remember, love the game, love life, chaos out.